Hi, my name is Justin. I'm a rising junior in Cupertino High School. And for my project, I made a MIDI controller. So to give you some background, MIDI stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface. And a MIDI controller is used to play instruments on your computer. But a MIDI controller will not play sound without an accompanying computer with audio mixing software. So I chose this project as I believed it'd be challenging, but not too advanced that it'd be impossible for me. And it was definitely challenging, but not to the point that like it would push me over the edge or something. I also wanted to learn how MIDI works and how making music works, like, and all that stuff. But as I was a beginner to that, I also believe that this project would be practical after the course ended, as it'd be fun to look at and play one every once in a while. So here is a switch. So on the bottom right is a camera of me and the MIDI controller. So there are 12 red arcade buttons, and above them you can barely see, but there are 4 potentiometer knobs, and on the left there are 2 sliders. Or wait, I think I didn't share my audio, so give me a sec. All right. So this is just me just testing out all the buttons and then testing out all the knobs. So for the sliders, I put a beat in the background, and the sliders they change the volumes of each different like instrument in the beat. All right. So some challenges I had with this project were working with the Arduino, because I was new to the Arduino, and I had to learn about all the pins and all the like functions of the Arduino. And I also had to learn learn some new code, as I never like coded with Arduinos before. Another challenge I had was cutting the holes into the project housing. So I drilled the holes into the project housing, but my drill bit was too small. So I had to file a lot to make the hole wide enough to insert the buttons. Another problem I had was working with the 6-pin slide potentiometer. Standard slide potentiometers are usually 3 pins, and so a 6-pin slide potentiometer was quite irregular, and it was kind of hard to find information about how to wire them up. Some lessons I learned were to always measure all the components carefully when planning like layouts, as I bought a smaller box and it couldn't hold any of the components I wanted to put in. Some things I enjoyed about making this project were I enjoyed the soldering. I had to do a lot of soldering, as I didn't use a breadboard. I just soldered every single component to the Arduino. I also enjoyed testing out my projects at every stage. So when it was starting out, I tested out with 1 button, then added more and more buttons, tested out the potentiometers one by one, and then finally putting it into, or plugging into my computer and hearing it play its first notes. Thank you. I'll take any questions now.
Such a cool project.
Yeah, it is. Do you see yourself using this in the future for music or even other applications?
I probably won't use it for music, as I'm like a beginner in music, but I might try music. But I'm probably going to use it as a soundboard, so just hitting the buttons and playing audio clips into like my microphone.
I guess I kind of have a question. For the MIDI controller, is it mapped to specific buttons on the software? Like, how did you get the Arduino code up running? Was that a challenge?
So the Arduino sends serial, and I have like in my computer I have a serial to MIDI converter and a virtual MIDI port. So it runs it through everything, and then I can map it to like any button I want on the audio software.
Awesome. Sick, man. Really sick.
It looks great too. Any further questions?
Yeah. Do you think it's possible to code like your project to play like any video games besides just making like music and stuff?
Probably, but I'd have to change the code a lot. But yeah.
All right, let's give a, oh yes, Tanvir, I
Yeah,
see you
Tanvir
raising
had
your
a
hand.
question.
Yeah, like just out of curiosity, what were some of the like instruments you looked at, and like if you wanted to, like what might you add?
Well, I don't have a lot of musical background, and I just really wanted to learn about it, but I didn't really look at any instruments, but all I know is that you can use the MIDI controller to map it to basically any instrument. Like you could play anything from like a flute to a piano or like a drum or anything.